We'd been touring in America as what was known as a sandwich band. On a 3-act bill, we would be the middle band. We did so many gigs after Brian had left the band as a 3-piece. Well, basically as a 3-piece with a keyboard player. We'd actually become a very, very tight rock band by that time, but it was different, and the success was never going to be the same. No matter how good a singer Steve was, or maybe I could have been, it was never, didn't have the X factor, if you know what I mean. But having said that, every gig was a good one, and every aspect of that I actually thoroughly enjoyed. You know, the fact of having a band where 3 people were all pulling in the same direction, and no matter what they threw at us, we could take it on and give it a go. As a band, something else had to happen, and I remember falling out with a couple of people because only briefly, because we did not want to come back to England to make the next record. Steve was adamant that it was going to be in America, but as the American manager said, recording in America is not the thing that you should be doing. Canada, maybe. Yeah, the move to Canada to record in Toronto was, well, from my point of view, fantastic. I think probably of the 3 of us, Mick would have probably preferred to have been in England. I think there were, with him at that point even, there was a couple of health issues that I think he would have felt nicer in England. And in fact, he did fly to and from rather than stay the whole period. Whereas Steve and I, you know, shared a flat on Yonge Street, which was a walk away from the studio. And we were there for months, you know, about 3 months in the end. We were also doing some gigs at the time as well. So we had our keyboard player out there from time to time. And we kind of used Toronto as a base. And if you let her get to know you better, she'll never let you down. Oh, the lady needs to know you. We came up with a very, very credible album, and I was still using amps like the little Vox I'd used on Love Is Like Oxygen, and little Pig Nose, and any of these little metal boxed Yamaha things that were around, just to try and do something different with some of the guitar sounds. I still had the corridor of power whenever we needed it, with like Leslie's and all sorts in there. But when we got back to England with the finished article, everybody really liked it, but no one heard a single. Nobody. They even played it to some radio guys, and they said, well, it's a great album, but there's no single there that I can hear that you get friendly airplay on. I walked into the office when Pip Williams was routining with Status Quo, and Pip, in amongst the things that were being played, played a song called Sixties Man that he'd written. And I said, oh, this is when Francis and Rick were out of the room. I went, that's Sixties Man. He said, oh yeah, he said, we're just playing over some of the things that are possibilities for the next Quo album. And I said, well, if they don't want that, or if you think we could do a better job, I said, I would really like to give us a go with that. It just so happened that Quo didn't want that song, so we did it. And it was easy for me to turn around and say, well, Pip, you're the man to produce it then. And while we were doing one song, our then business manager turned around and said, well, you might as well do 2. And he wasn't wrong. And there was a songwriter friend of mine who was part of our office who had written this song, Give the Lady Some Respect, which is like, I didn't like the lyrics, but I loved the song. Just let her get to know you better, she'll never let you down. Oh, the lady needs to know you. Mike Mansfield, he had a show called Galaxy, which I'd written the theme tune for. So he included us in the pilot show for that with the song. But apart from that, I don't know how much more ground it made up for us. I think in the grand scheme of things, had we had any kind of impetus going alongside, what we were doing, we'd stayed out of England for so long. We'd been touring everywhere but England. It may have actually worked, but it's trying to bring something back to people's perception after it's had its best moments. I think, given a different timescale and given a different set of circumstances, it may have all worked out.